Alright guys, this is another test of the hill climb script with the user interface. It has some flickering that people have brought to my attention and the way the script's written. I changed a couple things. It still tries to flicker sometimes, so I'll keep on working on it. But the big changes are that if you press and hold the control key and you tap the shift key, you can now turn it off and on. Nuts, my buddy, changed some colors to make it where you can see a difference a little easier. You gotta move forward, but changed it so that turbo's a little easier to read. Instead of having boost mode, he thought it'd be cuter to have Turbonium. I changed the couple of fonts to give some separation with a few things. I'll keep working on it. Like I said, some people consider it useful, some people think it's stupid. If you don't like it, you can turn it off with Control plus Shift. With that was it. Detects the wheels, and that's some of the calculations. It's a linear script that uses an interface. It's the only way I knew how to write it. I copied the Pilot HUD script to make it work. And it reads from top to bottom. So I suspect the more I try to put in it, the more chances it may lag a little bit. I will work on that if it continues. But you can also see the HUD transfers from vehicle to vehicle. I can turn it back on, and with that, instead of 8 wheels, I have 4 wheels. The tanks. The tanks show tracks. I cannot do anything about how the black screen is larger. Once you define the size of the box you want there, it kind of just stays that size. I would love to be able to make it where it was smaller. A couple things I'd like to do with it, but I'm not adept at interfaces. I've tinkered with them. I still struggle with them. But overall, the script works pretty good. For those of you who haven't seen this video before, this is the full speed on the HEMTT, and then you can get a small boost. If you look at the top, it'll tell you your max speed. This max speed is taken from the vehicle config when the vehicle was made. It's the actual default max speed of the vehicle, but you can never really get that fast unless you're going downhill. The reason I didn't boost past that was because vehicles had a tendency to roll over if you put them much past their max speed. So I went ahead and re-scripted that to make it where you're less likely to roll the vehicle over. While you're boosting, you take engine damage if your speed is in the red, and you have extra fuel consumption. You can turn the turbo off and it goes back to normal. Once your engine gets to 50% health, you cannot use the boost mode. And then if you have a hill that you're having trouble getting up, you can go into low gear mode and it tells you your min-max mode. Let me see if I can find it. There's no hills. There's no real hills on this server, on this map. So I can't really show you what it looks like to climb a hill, but I can assure you it's much better than the regular mode. But I just want to show you that real quick for those of you that have had the complaints. I don't know what causes the flickering of the screen. The only thing I can figure is processing, the amount of processes that are going on, and the amount of information I'm trying to populate. Because basically, the wheels are the biggest amount of information being populated because I have to load all the hit boxes in the vehicle. That means windows, doors, headlights, taillights, tires, stuff like that. They all have to be loaded to an array, and then I search out the wheels, and there's a couple loops in there to determine which wheel it is, because the way you're reading it on the screen is not the way it outputs when you load a hitbox. So I wanted players to be able to actually look at it and go, they knew which wheel it was without how the hitbox puts that. It would put left front, then left 1, then left 2, and then left rear. So I mean, you kind of wouldn't can know if I remember correctly, that's how it was. But you kind of could tell what it is. I didn't want you to have a learning curve on that. And I said it's not necessary to have this, and you can turn it off if you want. Thank you for watching, guys.